The Giants own the second pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, and they have so many questions heading into this offseason. Number one, they fired their head coach, Ben McAdoo, in the middle of the season, along with their GM, Jerry Reese. Now the Giants are looking for a new head coach. Now, whoever this new head coach is has a huge decision to make. With this number 2 pick, what will he decide to do? Well, what will the Giants front office decide to do? Because they have a couple different things they can do here. Now, I laid it out. Now, if you remember the Cleveland Browns one, that was a lot of fun doing that one. And I'm hoping all these other ones are good as well. Now, the Giants are going to have more power to them than what they are normally used to. Now, this year was a struggle for the Giants, going 2-14, although they did play a couple of games close. They played the Eagles pretty close in both the games. But the Giants just seemed really lackluster. And these 3 pieces that I have on their draft board, I think it's what they're going to be really looking for on draft night. Now, what will they do? Because right now, the Browns would have already taken, in my opinion, probably one of the quarterbacks. Now, they're going to have a bunch of these available to them. As you can see on the board behind me, I have Saquon Barkley up there. I think they might want to take a chance on Saquon Barkley because the running game, not only this year, but the last couple of years, has been by committee. We've seen Paul Perkins get carries. We've seen Wayne Gallman get carries. We've seen Orleans Darkwa get some carries. And if you get someone like Saquon Barkley, who I've been describing for a while now as a once-in-a-decade type of player, maybe not too far of a stretch. Maybe I know I've been saying once-in-a-decade type of player, but maybe I'm meaning like maybe once in about every 4 or 5 years type of player. I think they need to take a chance on Saquon Barkley, yet the Browns don't. I think that's going to be on their number 1 wish list in this offseason. That way, their running production is not by committee, and they can get Saquon Barkley as a permanent number 1 tailback. Because their running game, it's been atrocious because it's been by committee. And I believe they've used about 4 or 5 different running backs this year, if I'm not mistaken. Now, they're going to have their choice between Darnold or Rosen. In fact, well, they'll at least have at least one of them guaranteed because the Browns can't take both of them. They can only take one. So they can choose between either Darnold or Rosen, depending on who the Browns, in this potential scenario, who they don't take. Now, what are they going to do? They're going to be a day 1 starter. Because if you remember last year, the Giants drafted Davis Webb in the 3rd round. And I don't think he's necessarily the guy that you want to be a successor for Eli Manning. I think I'd rather have Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen be a successor behind Eli Manning. Now the question is, if they do take either Darnold or Rosen, depending on which one is available, if only one of them is, do they start them on day 1, or do they give them about a year or two to learn under Eli Manning? Because I think Eli Manning's career is almost coming to an end. I think Eli Manning only has maybe 1 or 2 years left in him. Because if you looked this year, it seemed that Eli he just felt done to me, in my opinion. But that could just be behind what we're going to talk about next. A crummy offensive line. And I think an offensive tackle is going to be up there on the Giants' wish list. I don't know if they're going to necessarily do it, but it's something they need to really consider. Because that offensive line for the Giants, it was just atrocious this year. Especially in week 2 against the Lions. That's the game of lackluster of an offensive line. That's one that sticks out to me. Because the Lions, they were able to get to Eli Manning almost at will. Because his offensive line wasn't giving him time. So, those are kind of what I really think out of the Giants. That's what I think what their draft board is going to look like. Now, the draft board is going to get a little bit bigger the further we go along this. Right now, it's just a little bit shorter because right now, about the top 5, maybe top 7, we'll get to what the teams are really looking for. So the Giants going with a about every 4 or 5 years type of player in Saquon Barkley, Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen, depending on if both of them still available, have their choice, or they'll take one or the other, whatever the Browns wouldn't take, or they can go offensive tackle. Just try to rebuild that offensive line. Maybe they could do what the Cowboys did and just go with the offensive linemen for about the next 3 or 4 drafts and see what they can come up with. So they can come up with a damaging offensive line like the Cowboys do. the Cowboys have done. So that's what I think for the Giants. Like and subscribe to the channel. Share this with your friends and family. Also, comment your thoughts down below and share this with your Giants fans. Yeah, let them tell me their opinion because I really want to. I'm curious about their opinion. So I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.